Well, let's suggest now. There have been a series of defections over the past days, and the opposition PDP has been the one losing its members to the APC. Tonight, we take a look at the implications, some of the reasons those chieftains of the PDP gave before they left to the APC. Tonight, there's one man that is very passionate about his political party, the PDP. I'm being joined on the program tonight by the Executive Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Governor Nyesom Wike. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for joining us tonight. I appreciate your time that you have given us. I know you are a governor of an oil-producing state. Let me get your view on the passage of the PIB. How does this come to you?
I will not give my view yet because the governors are going to meet about the passage today, or whatever it is worth. Yes, the Honorable Minister of State Petroleum has said over the years that they're happy that the bill has been passed. Our own contention is not whether the bill is passed, of what interest, of what impact, what will be the benefits for the people of the host communities. But we have not seen the total package before we react, so I will not react on it when we know we're going to meet.
Well, for your people and perhaps for your state, because the issue of how the federating units can thrive in all of these issues, do you hope, because you've been at the federal cabinet before, and some of these issues have come up over and over again, are you hoping that there might be some monies that will come, for example, to Rivers State as an oil-producing state, and that will better the lot of your people with this passage of the bill?
Sure, I think I did intimate, or I did say it will be too early for me to take a position when the governors of the South will meet, which of course are the states that produce oil for this country. My personal view may not matter now. Yes, why not? Obviously, whether the communities in the states will get some money, is that what they want? Is that what they propose? So these are things that will have to take holistically of money that's going to come that will make a great impact on the host communities. But like I said, I don't want to jump the gun because obviously we're going to meet soon.
Well, because, let me get the expertise that you have as a lawyer for a bill that has lasted this long, and Nigerians have suffered for the non-passage of the bill. What kind of thing comes to your mind, considering the fact that does it look like a fit for you? Several national assemblies have not been able to do this, but this has happened under the Buhari and this 9th Assembly administration.
That has been political. What is important is that whether if a bill has taken 20 years that has been passed, if it has been passed and there's no commensurate benefit from the communities, of what effort. The mere fact that a bill has stayed in the National Assembly for how many years that has not been passed, and now that it has passed, what is the impact on the community? That is the most important thing. It is not whether, assuming the bill stays for 2 days that it was passed, and then the host communities are not going to benefit anything, for example. So why would I jump up to say, okay, the bill has been passed? So it doesn't make sense to me. So the issue is not whether it was passed under Buhari's administration or not. The issue is, at the end of the day, whether I like it or not, that this bill that was passed into law today, why was it that it was not passed in the last assembly? In the last the 8th assembly. Why? So these are things, and today you are talking about the percentage that was given to the host community. Well, where was it killed? If it were passed in the 8th assembly or whatever, the percentage that was given today would have been the percentage that we would have had as at last assembly. So these are not issues for you to say, okay, it has been passed under Buhari's administration. I don't want to begin to jump on because the PIB bill has been passed into law. No. At the end of the day, what we are talking about is what is the impact, what is the benefit? Has it met the aspirations of the host communities? That is the issue.
All right, Your Excellency, let's move away from the PIB, but quickly there's something I would like you to touch on, which I saw online about the reactions to the rearrest of Nnamdi Kanu. Let me get your view. What's your view on the rearrest of this man? Did you get me, Your Excellency? I was going to get your view on the rearrest of Nnamdi Kanu.
You said you read something online. What
Yeah, I said
I should I be able to read what was said?
I saw a video online where some supporters of Nnamdi Kanu went to the street in some part of Port Harcourt asking for fairness and all of that. But let me get your personal view on the rearrest of Nnamdi Kanu. It seems you are having...
First of all, this countenance that does not such video. That's why we have to be very careful in the kind of things we see in social media.
Okay, so
the kind of videos we watch and the kind of things that come up from the social media. However, I've stated clearly, yes, it doesn't matter what differences, it doesn't matter my view as regards to what Nnamdi Kanu stood for. I have said as governor of Rivers State, I do not believe in his principle or the way he wants to actualize Biafra, that Rivers State is not part of Biafra, and that no part of Rivers State is part of Biafra. However, having arrested him, the due process, the law must follow. You cannot just say because you have arrested him, therefore you will not allow justice to prevail. You must follow the due process of the law. And again, do not do it as if in a way that, look, all our target is against a certain section of the country, because it is not only Nnamdi Kanu we are talking about as regards insecurity in the country. We have the bandits, we have the military who have caused a lot of problems. So the government should also endeavor to go after the heads of those areas, all those organizations and associations, and arrest them and bring them to book. In that way, Nigeria will not say yes, justice has been done. But if you don't do that, and then you say, oh, I've got Nnamdi Kanu, it will be as if he comes from a particular section of the country. And that is what I raised a lot of issues of injustice, issues of marginalization, which ought not to be. So I'm not in support of Nnamdi Kanu. Anybody knows that, because I've said if I say cannot, I will not be part of it. But however, allow the law to take its course. As what has been done to Nnamdi Kanu today should also be done to other criminals and bandits who are already parading themselves, moving around in this country. That is our own position.
Let me also go away of the issue of defections. You and your colleagues in the PDP Governors Forum, you went to Gusau in Zamfara State and you met with the governor of Zamfara State a few months back, and you were talking about the need for him to stay back after the rumors of whether he wanted to try to leave the PDP for the APC. Well, it does look like all the efforts you made at that time to make him stay back in the PDP did not work. Are you disappointed by the eventual outcome?
Well, let me start it this way before I talk about being disappointed or not. When we got to Gusau, we knew that he had made up his mind. One, we as if we heard of this, we didn't make any effort, we never to talk to him. When we want to talk to him, with all due respect to him, he had no excuse, nothing terrible to even present to us why he would want to leave. All he had to take, for example, in fact, I must say this clearly, even though it was a meeting held between our colleagues, amongst our colleagues, he said, look, the governor of Rivers said, I'm not happy. Every time you come out and defend Benue State, but you're not defending me. What has that got to do with the party? Assuming that is correct. So we knew, but we have done what we're supposed to do. But the only way I look at the whole thing is that if this country, certainty tomorrow, why people do this? Because they believe that, oh, well, even if people go to court, how many years will it take before they get to that point? We already contesting the next election. That is all. That is all. Because okay, in the next 3-4 months, we have completed this matter. And that will put an end most of the things that we are seeing. This was a man who never went to tribunal to say, I won an election, or I was rigged out of election, right? Assuming he even did, but that was not brought him into a sort of where APC did not comply with the Electoral Act, with the provisions of the Electoral Act, and PDP went to court to challenge it. He did not, and therefore he couldn't have presented a candidate in that election. That became a pre-election matter. And then PDP and the court said yes. If APC did not, and which of course was correct, they did not present the candidate, the only candidate that stood for that election was PDP candidate, and therefore the PDP candidate should be sworn in. And now, that's where you sound disappointed. Yes, I should. How would you do that to a party that took everything to make sure that you are enough, even when you knew in that election, it did not challenge you that you won or you were rigged out? No. And I knew, let me tell you why I knew from day one. The day Supreme Court gave him that judgment, and I told my colleagues, I said, like, this is a bad omen. I do know a man which was serving with victory and rest left. Yeah, I want to see Mr. I knew something was going wrong. The whole essence of the thing you are saying about the is for him to fight the governor, former governor. That is the truth. So but they're using to see that we are no longer comfortable with Governor Yari for him to fight Governor Yari, and that is all. But as far as we are concerned, we are politicians, we wish him good luck. We wish him good luck. But it also tells you on the credibility, on the integrity of people. The way I can't believe that APC will be celebrating that they got Metawelie, whom they have accused of non-performance in that same state. How do you celebrate a man that you have accused of non-performance? How do you blow hot and cold? So that's my position.
Governor Wike, because the APC, I spoke with an APC governor yesterday, and it does look like this is a deliberate effort in getting a lot of members, especially key members of your party. Has APC approached you? Are you considering maybe joining APC soon?
How can you even ask that kind of question? If Nigerians hear you ask that kind of question, how do you think Nigerians will feel? How dare anybody say to even, it is not negotiable. Let me tell you, when Issa Fontua, I mean, may so rest in peace, when he came with Dele Momodu, when the Guild of Editors had their conference in Port Harcourt, he came with Dele Momodu. And that was the first time I met Dele Momodu, face to face. And I challenged him how he didn't know me, but he was writing all kinds of things against me. But we got on talking. Then later, it's a fantastic look. Why not join the party? I said, sir, with all due respect, it is not an issue to be discussed. In fact, as I speak to him now, I have a migraine, so I don't think I will discuss that matter. It's not something to be discussed about. It is not. It is not. How will any Nigerian hear, even you sitting there, hear that tomorrow I'm discussing with APC to move? I mean, how? What will I explain? Look, if I want to discuss with APC, I will ask them, what do you have on ground? What do you want to do for the people of Rivers State? Then I'll call my people, see what I'm told. And who told me? If I want to go to APC, for example, I can't discuss with anyone, but Mr. President. And Mr. President will have to tell me what you have to do for Rivers people. And then I have to call my senators, call everybody, meet with Mr. President. Please tell me what you told, repeat what you told me when I met with you. Tell them. I cannot. It's not possible. So you don't even contemplate about it. It does not exist. But these people, because of one thing or the other, they are trying to hide their inadequacies and their inefficiency so that government will protect them. And they're always afraid. And you ask them, who has been fought like Rivers State government by the federal government? Who? What are they afraid of? What are they afraid of? Tell me what was the reason he gave, why he left PDP. Tell me one reason he gave. Just tell me. So that we're able to say, okay, yes, this is the reason he gave was terrible. This is the reason he gave is correct. So tell me one reason he gave why he left PDP. Tell me one. Tell me.
Your Excellency.
Tell me one.
Yeah, Your Excellency, let me quickly get your view on this. Ebonyi governor has left PDP. Cross River governor left the PDP. Now Zamfara governor has followed suit. In all of these, we are also hearing that yet another governor of the PDP will be leaving for the APC in a matter of days or weeks. Does this bother you at all?
No, it does not bother me. I've been in politics for long. I know. You see, one thing good about politics, people say politics is bad. No, politics is good. It exposes people. It tells you about the characters of human beings. Now, take for example, if you're not in politics, you will know when you have not dealt with people in terms of power, in terms of money. You don't know how they react about it. You don't know. So. And I just ask a simple question. If those who left gave reasons why we are leaving, take for example, if I can remember very well, I said it this morning in your sister station when the governor of Ebonyi said, look, I'm leaving because the PDP does not take care of Ndigbo, does not take care of Southeast. And I laughed. I said, okay, what is taken care of? PDP came into power since 1999, down to 2015 when we lost. So they are holding now in APC. So who has taken care of who? Who? Okay, that PDP has not zoned the presidency to Southeast. Fine, I have no problems with that. Now, you went to where it had been zoned to Southeast for you to now say, yes, why wouldn't I leave? They refuse to give a presidency. Now these people have given a presidency. No. As journalists, somebody gives you that kind of reasons. Well, what do you answer? Now I talk about crossing. I say, with due respect, it's one state I don't want to react to because all of us knew from the beginning. Just that the problem we have in this country, people don't want to speak up. People say, oh, he's a colleague, he shouldn't have said it. So for Christ's sake, what do you mean by a colleague? I mean, somebody cannot come out and begin to lie. Somebody cannot come and to disparage a party that gave him the opportunity. I contested election when we didn't have a governor in my state. They contested election when there were PDP sitting governors that made them to win election. With due respect. So the difference is clear. What did they say in Cross River? The Cross River state is poor. He wants to join Mr. President to make sure Nigeria moves forward. You have stayed 6 years. For Christ's sake. Mr. President preparing to leave. You are preparing to leave. I am preparing to leave office. It is in these few years, remaining 1 year or 2 years, that you now remember that you want to join Mr. President to move the country forward. What kind of story are you telling anybody? Who buys that? For Christ's sake, we are not kids. Tell us what your problems are. And we know. We know. This is the gave. What are the reasons? If they gave, what are the reasons? Then you can say, yes, the reasons they gave are very cogent reasons that, of course, anybody who has this kind of problem should leave the party. But nothing. I have had problems with the party. I believe I'm fighting in the party. I believe so. Because this is the party that gave me everything from 1999. What excuse can I have? So now say, oh, the party did this yesterday. No way. Whatever the grievances are, whatever my problems are, you don't expect in a system where you are, everything must be rose. Comes the time that things will be bad. It is for you. I've been in my short I've the capacity to withstand and to say, look, I should be able to the party. And like I said before, anybody who likes it or not, I will be in this party. I will fight it out. Those who like me or not will fight it out. Not for me to give excuses for, okay, the party did this, the party did that. But you didn't know the party did that. They gave you the ticket that made you to be the governor, that made you to be a senator. And now you're looking for excuses here and there. And you generally should help this country. You should help the country. Ordinarily, we shouldn't be talking about all these flimsy excuses here and left, right, and center. Who do you expect? I've been a busy governor since since December last year. You're talking about commissioning and flagging up, and people are busy going to another state to receive a governor that has come to a party as if they have survived, they have succeeded. The problem of Nigeria today is insecurity. The problem of Nigeria today is poverty. The problem of Nigeria today is corruption. It's not to go and receive a governor somewhere. 16 governors will leave. You have nothing to show. I have no such time. You can watch it every day. We are busy. We are busy. Let Nigerians see what we are doing. Not to go and tell me that we are receiving a governor that you have already said the governor is a non-performer. The governor cannot handle the issue of security. Now that you have said it, I mean it's that we're in.
On a final note, and perhaps within the next 60 seconds, Your Excellency, for us to close, it appears from what political analysts and the permutations that we're seeing, that the defections that we are seeing and the luring of the leaders of your party to the APC looking so much like an effort to decimate the PDP such that it might be too weak to fight for an election in 2023. Your party's main objective is to gain power back at the center. With what we're saying, we're also hearing that internal issues of removing the leadership of your party at the center. Can your party, with what is happening, seriously contest for 2023 election with what is happening?
What is that is happening that has never happened before in any political setting? What's wrong? Did the APC not remove their leadership? Did they not remove their leadership? So what is wrong if I remove their leadership? And for Christ's sake, who is going to die if leadership is removed? Who? The APC removed their own leadership. Are they not surviving? So what is all this hula baloo about removing leadership or not removing leadership? The point is, in every political setup, you must have some of these internal problems. It is there. You cannot run away from it. Politics is interest. Everybody, there are some perceived interests. There are some, people raise all kinds of allegations and these people are doing this, people are not doing that. It's part of the political processes. You don't need to bother yourself. And I tell you, there are key states you must win in this country to become president of Nigeria. With due respect to you, you need to win Kano State. If you win Kano State, you win Lagos State. If you don't win Kano and Lagos, you need to win either Kano and Lagos, or Kano and River, or Lagos and River. Whether anybody likes it or not, it is the truth. It's not, yes, all you want to do is to have the spread, which is, of course, there's no way people cannot have spread. But the point is clear. It has nothing to do with PDP. It has to do with the Nigeria. Is Nigeria going to still allow this kind of party that have fallen to this kind of level of insecurity, this kind of party that have shown poverty to Nigeria, this kind of party have shown no capacity to move Nigeria forward? And Nigeria is willing to still allow them to begin to say, there's a crisis in PDP. What? In every family, there are crises. In every institution, in every organization. So it shouldn't be. APC had their own crisis. They removed the national, the Catholic Committee. People were keen against it. So it's part of the process. Now you're not saying that we're going to us in. That does not mean you will not see the crisis in APC. It will come. Every company has its own time period about some governors leaving. We have identified these governors before now.
Governor Nyesom Wike, Executive Governor of Rivers State, I must sincerely thank you tonight for your time and the thought that you have shared. Thank you so much for your time for appearing on tonight's program. you.